should you invest in an ETF or a mutual fund? So let's talk about what the differences are, but first let's talk about the ways they're similar. So an ETF and a mutual fund are very similar in the fact that they both invest in bundles of stocks. So what that means is they may own 100 stocks or 500 stocks or 1,000 stocks within one fund. So you're able to own a big part of the market and diversify your investment with either types of investment here. So the big difference is that a mutual fund is typically going to have a higher cost because you're going to be paying an active fund manager to make decisions and trades on your behalf. Now, you find that cost by looking at what's called the internal expenses. You can find that on Morningstar or online if you just Google it. And then the passive side of the investment, those are going to have very low internal expenses, but they're not going to have a fund manager that's actively making changes to that, and trying to beat the market. It's just going to go with the flow, buy and hold type of investment, Warren Buffett type of investment in that strategy there. And so it comes down to also of, which one should you own? And I think it really depends. One, if you're investing with a financial planner, I don't necessarily recommend you invest in mutual funds. I'm not saying that mutual funds don't do better than passive. That's not the argument I'm making here. The argument I'm making here is that if you're paying your financial planner a management fee, and then you're also paying a mutual fund internal expense, your fees may be over 2%. And my question to you is, what are you paying the financial planner for? The financial planner's job should be to help you manage those investments and to be that fund manager. They should be making the changes to ETFs or stocks to lower your fee, but to give you the same type of active management that you would get in a mutual fund. So that financial planner should have, a CFA or someone there to help give you guidance of how to invest these funds in your portfolios. So that's the one thing I want to make clear. The other thing you need to understand is what type of investment do you have? So if you have a retirement account, then we probably want to stay on this active side. The reason why is because if you make changes to these investments, there's no taxes due when you do that. In a retirement account, you only have to pay tax when you pull the money out, unless it's a Roth. If it's a Roth, then you don't have to pay any taxes. But my point is that during the time that you have this investment, during the year, no taxes are due. If you have it in a non-qualified or a non-retirement account, and you're making these changes every year or ongoing, you're going to have to pay what's called phantom gains. And that's capital gains that are coming due every year. And so we'll see clients that have mutual funds in their non-retirement account, and you will see large amounts of capital gains due for that year. And so we don't necessarily want that to be the case. And the reason why is because we want to choose when we pay our non-qualified taxes. Especially with clients who are in or near retirement, they may be able to pay off these capital gains at 0%. And so if we don't have the choice of when to do this, we may not be able to stay within the 0% capital gains bracket. But if we can have our choice and be smart about it, then we may never have to pay taxes on that type of investment. The other reason why I really like being passive in this non-retirement account is because when you pass away, the current rule says that you'll get a stepped up in basis on this non-qualified account. So if you have $10,000 and it grows to $12,000, if you pass away, your beneficiary does not have to pay tax on any of that gain, is the current rules. Whereas if you're doing the mutual fund and you have $10,000, now it's worth $12,000, but throughout the year you've paid all these taxes and now your cost basis is $12,000. Well, there's no stepped up in basis, there's no value. You've already paid the tax when you probably didn't have to. So those are the things that I'd be aware of as you look at which type of investment is best. So those are the differences between an ETF and a mutual fund. Both can be used in different situations, and it all depends on what you're looking for.